One phase of employment is preparing for job applications and interviews. This is also a focus in the employment support field. It is important to prepare for and understand this part of the process, but it often comes with conflicting messages. If I am encouraged to be professional, what does this mean? Am I allowed to question what this means? Or am I expected to just go with the flow? Do I have a choice about following these rules? Or is this just part of getting a job? What if going with the flow makes me feel like I'm lying or misrepresenting myself? And if being truly myself would make me not get a job, does that mean there's something wrong with who or how I am? Or just that it's not a good match? These are some of the questions I ask myself. If we do follow the advice on how to interview well, what is the result? Sometimes even unknown factors during the interview may work against us. These factors may or may not have anything to do with the ability to do the job. Is this a problem with the person being interviewed or with the interviewer? Employment specialists try to help match people's strengths and interests with available jobs. This is a great concept, but how often do those strengths and interests really match up with available jobs? What happens when they don't? Once you do start a job, no matter what it is, there are a lot of curveballs. First, you have to learn the tasks of the job. At the same time, you must also get used to a new environment and a new routine. There may be some factors that are hard to get used to. Social rules, noises, lighting, or other things might make it hard to stay focused. Some of these things are common to many people. Others may not be understood by many people, especially if they do not experience them firsthand. These factors may be hard to explain, or you may worry that bringing them up may cause a problem. At some point, we may decide that a job or job option just does not seem to be a good fit. When this happens, we have to weigh our options. We might feel stuck. We might know that a current job is causing great stress, but what can we do about it? At some point when a job situation is not working for us, it might make sense to make a change. For those of us tied to routine and who struggle with transitions, this can be scary. It may feel easier to just stay where we are, even if that is a place that is not good for our own well-being. When I finally realized I needed to make a change, I was unsure how to do that. It helped me to make a plan. This involved making lists and thinking about action steps. It was hard to get started, but once I was able to wrap my mind around it, it felt more doable. People often say we should find and keep a job with good benefits. There's certainly something to be said for having a job with benefits, but it is also important to think about the effects of that job. Are those benefits more important than our overall quality of life? Is taking or keeping a certain job considered responsible only because of financial reasons? If a job is so stressful that there is low quality of life right now, are those benefits worth that? At what point do we also consider our ongoing quality of life as a factor in making responsible job choices? It may be good to understand options for benefits and job stability, but we must be careful not to believe that our own mental well-being and overall happiness is unimportant. One thing I believe makes us feel stuck is the fact that adults tend to ask kids from a very early age what they want to be when they grow up. And in school and conversations about employment, this sometimes continues. What do you want to be? I believe this is asked with good intention. But I think we need to be careful about what we are asking. The question, what do you want to be, is pretty loaded when you think about it. It suggests that our job will define us. It also can put us on a limited path based on a certain job title. But what happens when we do not get those jobs we always plan for? What if we build our life around a certain job and it turns out not to suit us? How do we recover from this? If we instead encourage people to think in terms of what they want to do, it can open up options. It can narrow down the reasons for our choices. If I grow up thinking I want to be a teacher, then the options in my mind for that possible jobs may be limited to the education system. But what if instead I think in terms of I want to encourage kids, or I want to foster creativity and learning? For one thing, the possible matches for a job like this would immediately go up. It might be in a school, or it might be in a community center. It might be in the education system, or it might be in the arts. The options get more broad. It may also decrease feelings of failure when things do not go exactly as planned, instead of feeling like I failed to become a blank. We can look at a situation and say, okay, what other options are out there? What next?